Here we are. We're back. We're back with a very known artist, very famous, popular artist in Nigeria. Have you been since? Maybe you can do a quick introduction of yourself and give the listeners a
Okay,
bit of an update on what
thank
you've
you
been
so
doing
much
since the
once
last time we
again to be
chatted.
on Beats to Rap. This is honorable. This is very pleasant, and I'm so excited because being on the podcast on the second time, and I still have the first podcast rolling on, and I see the views are increasing on a daily basis. Even though the first podcast was really very informal, I must apologize to my fans because I never really prepared for what was out there that day, and I'm quite excited that it's actually catching on fast with the fans out there, and the message I've been able to pass across is seemingly trying to connect with other ideas concerned with what I said. And I still will be very honored to buttress more on those past experiences from the first podcast. Thank you so much for being on Beats to Rap on a second time.
No,
Namaste.
no. Thank you for being on. We're very humbled. We're just a very new platform. And very honoured to host guests like yourself who can share these messages with the world. So yeah. So what have you been doing since the last podcast? What?
Okay, so it's been quite being an entrepreneur. It's been quite engaging. I've had to mentor a lot of mentees, and trying to expatiate on my business philosophies and ideas, and trying to grow. So that's kept me very busy. And engaged in so much activities, a lot of business plan developments, projects and ideas being concepted, and trying to build on pre-existing projects, and trying to grow the sustainability of the business, because we really need the money, and it's quite important to see that what brings in the money is sustained and the right inputs are actually there. So I've been quite busy, very busy with my entrepreneurship adventure, if I may use that context. So that's what's kept me very engaged. And I'm also been on the ground trying to lace up more tracks for the second album. And, it's been quite intense because I've been brainstorming because of the second album. I really been thinking what to put together something new, something different, and I had to go back to the drawing board and review some of my old songs and try to bring them back on board. I realized I had some challenges as usual, but I think I'm working on the relevant corrections to ensure my second album, following the first 21 songs on the platform right now, will actually pass the message across just the way the first album has done. Thank you very much.
That's awesome. And what was it like, kind of going back through some of your old tunes, and talk us through what kind of like a bit of the process that you followed.
Yeah, that's a bullet. That's a bullet. That's a bullet. I got it really in my heart. Really, first of all, I want to say a moment of silence for the dead people in Israel and Iran, and the recent crisis from Ukraine and Russia. I'm very sad. I'm very sympathetic, and I'm really touched by what is going on in the world right now. And I really feel we really have to put hands on deck and have the right mindset for humanity right now, because the world is going through an energetic transformation, and humanity right now has to get conscious about what is going on, because I must say this, I'm sorry, the killings are not just there, but they're also here in Africa. We're getting them right here in my state, Jos Plateau State, Nigeria. It's really sad to see what's going on. The herdsmen crisis, people dying on a daily basis, women being slaughtered, and the babies being removed from their stomachs. It's horrifying what's going on in the world right now. But I want to tell people right now that this is the time to wake up. This is the time to rise up, because this is the time to become more conscious what's happening, because what the world is craving for, what earth is craving for right now, is the right mindset of people, like I said in my first podcast. It's time for us to rise up and channel our energies towards bringing back peace to earth. The earth is crying because the earth gives everything to us. We are part of the earth, the animals are part of the earth, the plants are part of the earth, and the earth is crying. Mother Earth is crying because she's sipping a lot of blood down, and this is not what she wants. And I can tell you the earth will rage against humanity if we don't take precautious measures right now. The earth is going to do something drastic to we humans, and we really can't hold back what will happen. I mean, I don't think even a nuclear bomb will be able to, take the lives the earth will do if she gets angry with humanity, because the earth is bleeding. The earth is sad. The animals are sad. The plants are sad. And it's time we sit back and think as humans, because what's out there happening right now is a manipulation. There is a set of crazy heads out there who are just, making a hell of a profit from the shit going around the world right now. We have to really know we are the only things that matters right now, and we really have to come together and fight against this force. It's a negative force trying to destroy humanity, and it's gaining from the blood spills and the lives, the terror, the fear, and humanity is being driven into a state where we're losing the right focus towards bringing back the consciousness of humanity. And we really have to work very hard right now to see to it that earth regains her stability, or else we'll lose everything when the earth goes berserk. So I crave to humans all over the world right now. We have to become more conscious. We have to think about what's going on right now and channel our energies towards, seeing peace restored to earth. We're all one. We're all what we have. We're all the same. The same blood runs through our veins. I mean, what is gaining from our blood spills all over the world right now is the evil forces, the dark forces, and they are really getting a lot of pleasure from what is happening. So we really have to know that we're feeding something out there with what we're doing, and instead of trying to protect humanity and war against this negative force trying to suppress humanity. So please, the whole earth, this is my moment of silence, and humanity, I pray will become more conscious and we ward away what is happening right now on earth. Please, all the leaders on the earth have to really think and remember we have generations. We have nations who haven't tasted what is technology. We have nations who haven't grown into where other nations are today. So we're depriving opportunity. We're depriving, exploits in new areas in life if we continue driving towards a third world war right now. Please, I crave the indulgence and indefatigable effort of humanity to change the narratives. Thank you. Before I go back to my point.
And how do you think we can use music to help push or scale that kind of thinking that you're thinking about?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure and great honor to answer this question. As a deep thinker, I must have to say one very important point here is that there are two forces. We have the good and the bad, the positive, the negative, contending right now. And we must deep things I can't really say here, but I'll try to be as simplified as possible. Take for instance, the universe is very large and we have billions of galaxies in the universe, and they're made of stars. Stars are suns. Suns are sources of energy. And just imagine, capturing four stars and creating a super void. And the super void we're talking about here is a section in the universe which is very much undefined by the belief that there are forces that crave for energy. And if we're talking of intergalactical beings, we're talking about energy thriving creatures that we don't really know much about. And I'm streamlining this ideology to humanity right now. What is happening on earth right now has to do with some negative forces thriving on mankind's fear, mankind's, the pressure humanity is facing right now by what is going on earthwide. We are losing it. And the energy we are venting by virtue of what is happening right now is being gained by some other entities. And we are feeding some other entities from our fear through the destructions, the killings, the wars, the massive death tolls. It's feeding some other entities in some other dimensions. So we have to be wise right now to understand that we're dealing with energy, vibrations. We are actually resonating in a wrong frequency. So we have to go to higher planes. We have to transcend above the snake line, the reptilian consciousness, where fear, death, blood is what they feed off from humanity. So at this point in time, I'm calling on humanity to become more conscious about the energies we're absorbing. Hate, racism, any form of human degradation, erroneous beliefs, derogatory ideologies must be debunked. We must see each other as one. And so we need songs right now that will call the consciousness of mankind towards peace. And these are not ordinary songs. These are songs with deep vocabularies, deep perspective of delivery of messages through songs, vibrating at a very high frequency, telling people the truth without fear, regardless of the consequences. It's time for mankind to be able to transmit energies that are positive to counteract, bring to null and void the current frequencies and energies mankind is resonating to right now. So we need artists who understand the use of language, the use of vocabularies to expatiate and bring to consciousness humanity what is happening right now and telling them the way forward is love. Earth itself, Mother Earth, it's so sad. Mother Earth is bitter. The blood we're spilling on the earth right now is causing the earth to rage. We're going to see phenomenons. We're going to see things the earth is going to do right now that it's going to be very unusual. You know, I see hurricanes, I see tornadoes, I see tsunamis, I see earthquakes coming. Let me tell you, these are not just because of the man's activities on earth alone. They are negative, quite okay, some of them. But we're going to see the earth actually rage against humanity for what we're doing. So we have to be quick about this because we can't fight against Mother Earth. She brought us to being, every animal to the most single unicellular organism. Earth, Mother Earth produced it. We must respect Earth. The blood we're giving to this Earth, it's rejecting it. It doesn't want it. It never meant for it. It gives life. We're giving back to Earth what Earth doesn't want. So we've had instances where, back to history, we've had phenomenons that have destroyed humanity beyond any context of a nuclear or hydrogen bomb or whatever kind of bomb they want to create. So it's time for humanity to know that we're going against the laws of the earth. And so we have to use music and use it in a positive manner. We have to try to be more realistic about the situation and try to pass a message about unity, love, and the power that the earth has to offer to mankind for us to get back to that state of peace and tranquility again and to make the earth happy. We really have to make the earth happy, or she'll make us very sad. And it ain't going to be anybody's fault this time. It's going to be the fault of humanity in general, because we've gone across every threshold of what humanity is supposed to be right now. Yeah.
What are the sorts of things that artists could, like, the sort of words then, I guess? Just trying to think, like, like, what are those sorts of words that have a lot of power? What's the kind of key or the
Okay.
notes
I'll
that
go back
kind
to
of
Bobby.
resonate the most?
Thank you. Thank you. I'll go back to Bobby Nesta Marley. I'll take us back to Bobby Nesta Marley. This is a prophet, and he said a song. He sang a song, and he said some words like this: "There is a natural mystic flowing in the air. If you listen very carefully, you will hear." We lost a legend, and his songs today must be risen to the level where consciousness must synchronize. All consciousness must synchronize back to Nesta Marley. This is one man who spoke exactly what is happening on earth right now. And because we're negligent of the words in his songs, we're negligent of the messages Bobby was trying to pass on. And, today we're paying the dire consequences for this. So I think we must go back to reggae music, root reggae music. We must listen to what the Rastafarianism is trying to tell humanity. It's so extreme that it's a vegetarian culture. It's a vegetarian belief. And these are people who understand what plants stand for, because even plants communicate. In situations where they are threatened, plants send certain electrical signals, vibrations, you see, to other plants, notifying them that there is a threat within them. If plants could be this sensitive, then you could understand the perspective of a vegetarian. If it were possible not to even eat a plant, then it means man should live on energy. So ideally, we're far beyond just eating meat, enjoying pastries and all the earth has to offer. We're far above this. We're created to resonate at a very high frequency in which, we could do things like the superhuman capacity, like I said once, could do. We're being limited by this negativity, by this hatred, by this lack of love, this self centeredness, this drive for power. I want to be the greatest. I think the greatest should be that who could help, who could touch lives, who could reach out to people, who could bring humanity to a consciousness where we know that we're all one, even the animals, the plants. Yeah. And I think at this stage, we have to go back quickly to the drawing board. The world leaders are missing the point, they're missing it all out of what it's really intended to be. The blueprints are not being followed. And this because of greed, self centeredness, hatred, and the lots we could list amongst these negative vices we have within us as humans. We have to change our mindset. We have to change our hearts, our perception. We have to believe that we are all that is we have to save this planet Earth. We ain't going to see Jesus coming down here, man. I'm not waiting for Jesus. I'm waiting to be Jesus on earth right now. And I think it's time we all have to know that we have the capacity to do what is right, or else we're going to lose it all. And this earth will go berserk, and the whole earth would be extinct of anything called life in its forms. We're driving ourselves there. We have different forms of weapons traveling towards the ozone, and a lot of protections from electromagnetic waves are becoming porous, and the sun itself is going to take its vengeance on earth. And I'm telling you, when the time comes, ain't nobody going to escape it. It's better we change the consciousness and the narratives right now before it's too late. We ain't going to go to Mars. Mars was destroyed. So I don't know how we want to go make Mars better when we have Earth. Yeah.
It's interesting, like the interesting take on vibration. I want to just go back there a little bit. So you mentioned about resonance, and you mentioned about kind of like vibration and the music and how it can change things and people and have the effect on different things in the universe. What's your take on how that relates to music? That's not a great question. Let me ask. I'm just trying to think what my
Okay,
question
I
is.
like the question. I'm welcoming this question with all hearts, and I'll tell you, I'm privileged to be half Indian. My father is Punjab, my mother's Nigerian from Delta. They call them Orobo. A lot of cultural, rarities, cultural shocks, in other words. But I was able to blend all this together because there's always a purpose for everything. I must say this: everything happening right now requires a set of people to rise up, a set of people who know what is in them and start decreeing and start meditating positive vibes across the four corners of the earth and take control.
Like, is there a particular key?
The Indians talk about the Om. The Om still stands with the signature of the Ohm in physics. The Ohm is the resistance. Ohm's law. It's the resistance against the flow of current within a conductor when a voltage is passed. Now the Ohm is a sound, and it's a sound it's beyond what we have here. It's a resonating frequency at a pitch not so conventional to everyone. And when you see these Oriental religions and beliefs, the Om is a sound. It's a humming sound. When meditating, this sound resonates to bring peace. When meditating, it enables you to disengage from your worldly, humanly attachments and thoughts and perceptions, ideas, and let go your soul for the freedom of peace flow from the crowns of your head to the soles of your feet, in the chakras, the energy chakras across the body. These are the points that are being distorted right now across all humanity. And I won't go too deep to the pituitary gland. And this is a part of the brain that also works with this resonating sound of the Om. It's the third eye. Here we're talking about a consciousness that is no longer within the conscious domains, the XYZ domains we're conversant with. We're talking of a more higher plane where we can be able to channel our thoughts at the state of peace in such a way that we could manifest positive thoughts in the physical realms of the XYZ here and see them happen. And so we're calling on conscious minds who are artists, musicians, to try to resonate in this positive higher domain frequencies, energies, electromagnetic waves of unique nature to download these messages that will transform humanity. And that's why I give example of there's a natural mystic flowing in the air. If you listen carefully, you will hear. It's time that we understand that we have the power to change the negativity. If at all was anything I learned in the messages of Jesus, it was only one thing I knew. He said, love thy neighbor as thyself, and love the Creator, God, with all your heart and your soul. If love persists for your neighbor, there's no iota of thought concerned with evil that you have to harbor against your neighbor. And if you could do that, then it means you love God with all your heart and your soul and your strength and your might. Love has to be genuine right now. Humanity have to have men who will rise up to channel their energies to see that love manifests in its powerful form on earth right now. This is the time. It's not about a Muslim. It's not about a Christian. We're all facing the same. Okay, I'll use this word. We're all on the same boat. Being on the same boat, whether you encounter an incident, a situation, a problem, it is common to all mankind right now. Nothing. If I have AIDS, another brother can have HIV. If I have tuberculosis, another brother can have tuberculosis. If I got hit by a car on the road and I died, some other person could got hit by a car and die on the road. So we are all threatened by the same fear. So why don't we change this fear to love and affect all humanity? The gross evil going on right now on earth, it's really horrifying. I mean, back here in Africa, what is happening with the so-called Yahoo boys, sacrificial procedures to make money, sacrificing your mother, your father, your baby, your child, just picking an innocent victim online and inviting him to some place and murdering such a person with no care, no concern, no fear for life, and you're also breathing. It's time we know that there's a dire consequence coming. It won't be selective, I'm sorry to say. When it comes, it's going to sweep like a tsunami. There would be no escape. There will be no selection. It's just going to take who it has to take when you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. So it's time we really try to see to it that these vibrations we tap into for music must be channeled to sing positive, conscious music for humanity. You could be an artist. You could have all concepts of songs. But trying to make sure you have one or two or three songs in your album that tells humanity the right thing to do. Because that is the fastest frequency that we all, music, can actually hack in. And without our consciousness, we are programmed to act according to what we hear. So it's time for us to program our minds with good songs, positive songs, vibrational songs that tells us that doing wrong should no longer be harbored among humanity.
Yeah, super deep stuff. So what do you think? Like, what? Tell us a bit more about some of these tunes that are coming out. Just, yeah, I think we can talk about this for, for a lot longer, which is super interesting. I'm just, yes, like, what kind of tunes are you coming out with soon? What's dropping soon that kind of like help the cause on changing the world?
Okay, good. I have a couple of tracks on my first album there. They have a track called Jaja Na the Name. You know, I'm not a religious fanatic, but I must tell you I'm a very realistic person when it comes to the idea of what is a creator. And I think God created us out of love. If you look at the beauty of the universe, you look at the splendor of the universe. In a billion of universes across the galaxies, a billion of galaxies across the universe. I'm not talking about parallel universes right now. I'm concentrating on our own universe. And you look at the galaxy, the Milky Way, and you extrapolate towards where we have the solar system and the observable 9 planets, and you look at that the third planet, Earth, was chosen specifically to harbor humanity. It wasn't just done for any reason, but for the fact that it has what it takes to harbor humanity. For those who have gone to outer space, the splendor, the beauty of looking down on Earth from space, from outer space, you could see how unique the planet Earth is. Whoever created Earth had the pleasure of everything that would exist on Earth. I call it, you know, it's actually, I want to use the word used by Wes Penry. Earth is actually, it's a seeding ground. If at all we have strange entities out there within outer space, I want to believe we have the soul-like replica here on Earth. I don't strongly believe that aliens from either outer space or deeper inner space are soul carriers. But when you look at creatures on Earth, I mean, an animal will go out of his way to save another animal like itself from dying. You see a goldfish stranded on the water and can't find its way back to cemetery to swim. Another goldfish comes in and turns it back to its position and it saves it. You see a buffalo being attacked by a lion. You see a herd of buffaloes come in and fight against the lion to save the buffalo. And this goes on within the web of life, within diversity in species and within species. It shows that there is a creator that has embedded love in everything here on earth. So I would categorically say that no matter the level of extraterrestrial intelligence out there, it can't be compared to mankind. I think the reverse is the case. No matter how much technology comes from an extraterrestrial knowledge, I still believe humanity has a far super intelligence than they do. Why? Because we're soul carriers. There is something about us that differentiates us from entities that have no feelings. We have feelings. We know pain. I mean, a little baby, when you take that baby from the mother, no matter how much he or she likes you, the moment you spend 30 minutes with that baby, he starts crying for the mother. No matter what you offer that baby, it no longer wants anything but his mother. This tells you that humanity carries a power of love. And so our Creator has made it that love is the most powerful force. And with love, we can be able to eliminate, if at all, 90% of negativity across the universe. We are significant to world stability, galactic stability, and the stability of the universe. I still believe we've not come to the level of human knowledge, perfection. If we had, we'll be fighting and warding certain things that will be coming to this earth very soon. These are not entities we can be able to fight. We're going to need a higher level of consciousness. I'm seeing the visitation of entities to earth very soon. This is going to test humanity. This is going to break humanity. And this is where we need the people who have the consciousness that they are actually supposed to have the 12 strands of the DNA. These are people who will be resonating at the perfect frequency, coming from the primordial state of the universe, our Milky Way, raising our consciousness, telling us that we have the power to start defending the planet Earth from negativity. We are few, but we keep getting more enlightened as the day firmly established. And I'm sure the consciousness will keep increasing. And the moment we know our responsibilities as artists, as musicians, our humming sounds in music should be able to fight and resist these negative frequencies trying to over encompass the earth. It's time we become more conscious. We are too mundane. We're carried away by just physical things when we are far more above these physical things. We are supposed to be intercessors. We're supposed to stand and fight against the negative forces trying to push the earth to a state it does not deserve. The oceans are polluted. Animals are being annihilated on a daily basis, extinct. Plants are wasted. Not that we don't have enough, but we can't even manage enough we have. We have countries who have to throw away wasted harvests and they don't have to provide it for the needy across Africa. This is because it's the laws governing boundaries and borders. We have to change these narratives. Somebody's waste is somebody's blessing. We have to know that what you waste could be something else to somebody else. We have to know that the little we could go out of our ways to help others will go a long way in healing our earth that requires love. Love. The earth wants love. We've made the earth very hot right now, and she's very angry. Mother Earth is very angry. I can assure you that. Thank you.
Yeah, super deep stuff. Amazing. Not quite sure where to go from there. But I agree with you. Do you have some sort of spiritual awakening, or do you feel like you were born with this understanding and Bob Marley was and other folks like that? Like, how does this come about?
Okay. In my first podcast, I kind of categorically defined a class of people I termed star seeds. And I also said these people were born into families all over the earth. They could either be firstborns, lastborns, whatever. This particular kind of people have been repeatedly sent to the earth. I sometimes use the Bible as a basis for buttressing and trying to give a clarity to what I'm trying to say. If a man like Jesus came to earth, a man like Jesus, he had a spiritual, directives that came along his genealogy, and it had to be guarded right through to when he was born, that the lineage could not be dislinked. Having been born into that family and lineage, he understood his purpose. Now, many of such who are born into families today don't really know their purpose, because the family itself you're born into, your mother, your father, don't even know they carry certain genes meant for the salvation of humanity. I've never watched any cartoon or movie where the hero was two. I've never. Yeah, we could have Fantastic Four. We could have X-Men. We could have all this and that. But amidst these superhumans, there was always someone unique in the team that seems to accomplish the unaccomplishable and rounds up that movie in such a way that the suspense is minimal. On Earth today, there are such like ones. Starting with people like our predecessors I've mentioned, they're great ones. People like he sang what's his name now? He's also a reggae musician. Yeah, I'll get back to his name again. And we have a lot of them like that. Also, in the hip hop industry, we have them like Tupac. We have them like Nas. They have one or two songs that say something, connected with the current signs of the times. They seem to have an insight into what is going on. And these particular tracks, I will encourage all humanity to listen to them, what they say, with messages they're trying to pass, the consciousness they're trying to breathe in to humans. So it is a spiritual awakening. It hits you as an artist when you realize that humanity is not really operating within the context of what is termed humanity. We are becoming animalistic. Even the animals don't act like we do, because majority will only kill for self-defense or for food. I don't think, well, of course, we know some people feed on humans, but I don't think majority of humans kill for food. And if you say it's for self-defense or for some cause, natural cause, why is the cause not sustaining humanity today? Because it's not a genuine cause. There is always some interest, either politically, religiously, or otherwise, for every act of violence against humanity. Because I see no reason why, just out of the blues, suddenly you start bombing, shooting one another, and you say you're trying to become territorial or you're trying to defend yourself. Against what? Against yourself as a human. Why don't you defend yourself against a demon? Why don't you defend yourself against the negative forces and energies? They never told as soon as I say it's going to happen when the aliens start invading Earth. I strongly believe this is going to happen. Because what's happening on Earth right now, even the technologies we have, they're not helping humanity. Not even in agriculture. You use a DDT powder, it's poisonous to the soil, it's poisonous to the plants. You use fertilizers that are inorganic. You condemn the soil. You create drugs that are synthetic. The pharma industry is just $1 billion making business. You have no drugs that are totally biodegradable by the human digestive system. And then you have all sorts of modifications of human genes through immunizations and otherwise. So what we're doing, we're reducing the genes of human more and more. We were already reduced to 2 DNAs from 12 strands, and we're also reducing it further. So now you have kids who are like zombies. You have kids who eat fast foods and they become so big within a week and a month like agri chickens. You teach children and nothing is absorbed. Nothing is absorbed. You have a child finish high school, he does not know what he went for. He went to high school for. He does not understand the basis of basic sciences or arts. So what are we having chunked into society? We're having terror. This generation we're having today, we cheated them. We thought we're helping them, but we cheated them. Your parents sacrificed for you only to grow in a society where professionalism is bastardized, education is bastardized, the media is bastardized. And so what we have today is a manipulative society of falsehood and make believe. How long we expect our generations to become the leaders of tomorrow? What are they going to lead? Who are they going to lead? These are youths today who say that, what is the use of education if I can become rich tomorrow without going to school? What's my use going to school? They have other means, other strategies, negative vices to lead them into success. So the leaders are already the examples. You have countries where illegal mining activities are taking place at the expense of the wealth of the masses, and the elites are becoming wealthy on a daily basis. And these are natural deposits for the benefits of all the society members. What are we talking about here? You have people infiltrating innocent victims in communities, extincting them just for the sake of the natural resources you find there, and you blame it on Christian religion, Muslim religion crisis. The manipulation is over. We have to know that the leaders in the world today have no interest for mankind. If they do, then they will be more conscious about providing the sources that will keep humanity in stability. Because they say a hungry mouth is an angry mouth, or a hungry man is an angry man. When the common source of sustainability is taken from the common man, the masses, what do you expect? You breed humans who no longer have feelings. I mean, when you see the state of deadened consciousness within urban, suburban communities, you realize that poverty, suffering, hunger could drive humans into a state of animalistic behavior. And who is leading to this? Who is paving way for this kind of environment and state for the masses? Is the leaders, because of their self-interest, because of what they can gain by exploitation, exploiting humanity. Entrepreneurship is an avenue for everyone to become rich. But when you come up with business ideas and strategies that will empower you, you get trampled because of the big businesses, big names, who already know that you can't compete with them. There's no room for anybody to make anything. You wake in the morning, you go to work, you make somebody a billionaire. Then you retire off some pension or some gratuity. Whereas you're buried in your grave with so much ideas that could actually have transformed humanity. So there's no equal opportunity. It's just a sentiment. There's no love. It's just a way of show face. People do this in churches today just to prove that, I have money. People make videos online helping people just to show that they are doing these things, but it's not really done from the heart. So we have to change our thoughts. We have to become realistic. This false belief, make believe life, we can't go on. These lies, we can't go on. This pretense, we can't go on. We have had leaders who have died for this cause of justice. We have them in their multitudes. Musical artists, even Bobby, and so many numerous artists on earth have sacrificed their souls just to bring consciousness to humanity. And just because it goes into one ear and goes out the other has led us to nowhere. But the truth there is a catastrophic end awaiting us. If we don't change the narrative, if we don't change the thinking perception, if we don't start becoming realistic and facing matters consequently as they should be, we're going to run the earth into a huge jeopardy. And there'll be nowhere for us to go, not Mars. I can assure you, not Mars. If at all earth can be made better than what it is, then Mars can be habited. But if we can't make earth better, how could we make Mars better? That is the most stupid ideology we have today. Thank you.
Yeah, and some of the artists like Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer, Jimmy Cliff, and Toots. These are some of the great artists that were supporting Bob Marley in the time. And some of these modern reggae artists and creators as well. So be sure to check them out because they've got super cool lyrics in them, and it resonates to exactly what Angelis was has been deeply sharing from his heart. So yeah, that's been another awesome podcast. Have you got anything, any kind of last thoughts or top of mind, Angelis, that you might want to share with your listeners this time?
Yeah, well, I hope that I'm able to, bring you all, my fans, to this consciousness we're trying to build across the universe. I hope that we all could go back and sit back a little bit, let the world alone for a moment, and just go back to the drawing board and really try to see what I'm saying, how important it is. I mean, just imagine certain plants no longer exist, certain animals no longer exist. This is because of us. We are the humans destroying the earth. It's time we change it. It's in our power. We ain't gonna wait for Jesus or Muhammad or God. We are having the power of good and bad. We must learn how to manage it at equilibrium to give the earth its balance again. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And make sure you jump on to beatstoRapOn.com/artist/Angelis, Angelice. He's got 21 tracks up there. He's just uploaded a couple of new ones. I got to say, they are super epic. They're already getting lots of likes. I was just looking at your profile now. You're getting tons of likes. That's fantastic. So,
Thank you.
I mean, your music is clearly resonating with some of the listeners and producers and, the whole community, which we're trying to bring back, which I feel like's lost, so we're on a mission to bring it back and empower the artists to create the future together. So, Angela, I just want to say massive thank you. Thanks so much for our second podcast.
Very honored.
Thanks so much for all the listening.
bless Beats to
And
Rap.
I'll catch you on the next one.
Sure, man. Yeah.